Welcome everybody to Catfish Weekly. Tonight, presented by Excel Boats, the official boat sponsor of Catfish Weekly, along with the Dr. Tim Lang and Cindy. Everybody to Catfish Weekly. I'm Lyle Stokes, and welcome to the show. I was just telling you guys, make sure you had your volume turned off, and guess who didn't turn theirs off? In time, anyhow. That's how it works. Doc?
Mine hasn't kicked on yet. I'm still waiting.
Mine did it all last week, but we'll see how that works out. It was a beautiful day in Missouri today. No rain yet. We do have some coming, but it's not here yet. So we'll see how that works out. And I got the yard mowed and no mud on the tires.
Yeah. It's been great here. We haven't had any rain in about 5 days. The heat is starting to mess up the grass, but that's okay. I got up early this morning and mowed the grass and got that taken care of. So,
well, that's good. We got a bunch of stuff.
I like this kind of weather.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Didn't make 90 today. I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah,
for those that watched Friday and didn't tell Doc, I'm going to go ahead and show him now. I got something that you don't have, my man. I have me a new rig wrap hat.
Yeah.
These will be coming out before long on rigwrap.com. The only difference is
what?
I will have the only white one. The rest of them will all be black with red lettering. I like red lettering really well. So the black one with the red lettering will look awesome. And I'm sure you'll get those when those come in. So that's where we're at.
Well, at least he could have gotten 2 of them. So when I die, I'm going to haunt him for the rest of his life.
He's in here somewhere.
Oh, it's
going to make life miserable for Glenn.
You know, we were talking last week, Doc, about the Joey Kirby rig, and I wanted to go over something. Glenn actually sent me one of the rig packs that will hold those rigs. And for those of you interested in them, it's number 24548. And I'm pretty sure that you could probably get 2 of those Joey Kirby rigs in here. And I did get a message today, Doc, from a guy that tried to buy them from Walmart. And the ones he found was like $75 or something.
Yeah.
And I told him that you got yours at Walmart.com, but you could get them at Academy and Bass Pro and different places. So if you have an idea where they can get them and what they cost you at Walmart.com, let everybody know.
Yeah, at Walmart, let's see, I'm showing everybody the Joey Kirby rig in case they didn't tune in last week.
There it is.
We've got it back. But here's the Joey Kirby rig. But this is a shortened version just for demonstration on the computer so everybody can see it. Normally, this area here to the hook is probably several feet long, and then the orange part here you see is your line coming from your rod. This rig comes in this kind of a package right here, and 2 in a package, and I think I paid maybe $2.50 for 2 of
these. It was under $5.
Yeah. So really good, and in fact, Joey was talking about it on his live feed today.
Clayton Duff says $273 for a 2-pack at Walmart.com. That's a great price on those. The other thing I mentioned on our live show Friday, Doc, is these clips here, these new speed clips that Glenn has come out with. These things are completely round on the end. These particular ones are rated for 200 pounds. I don't know. I've never seen any that's rated for that much other than Glenn's. And the round ends on them, there's no holding them. There's no binding. You'll get all the movement that you're supposed to get out of them things. They are amazing looking. I can't wait to get them out on the water. And these will be out in a couple months. He's waiting for them to get to him. He had to approve them, and I am really impressed with him. He's got 3 models of these that are coming out. One is 50-pound rated. The next one is 125, and then these are for 200. So really impressed with these things. They are really awesome. I'm excited about them because they will not bind. And I still believe that any type of floating device that you're using to suspend bait, the action of whatever that is and vibration off of it will attract more fish than anything else. So this will be a way too cool school tool for people to be using when they're using floats and weights and demon dragons and all that stuff to suspend their bait up. These are going to be awesome.
Yeah, and if you're using you could use that as a quick
Yep,
change out rig,
that's right.
put a weight to it and then tie a line to it and boom, you can just
Yep.
change weights out or whatever. So
That's right. In 200-pound test, you're never going to break it on a fish. I think it'd probably be really hard to break it on a snag, but you can break anything on a snag if you try hard enough. So, other than that, we've got some other stuff I want to go over at the end of the show, but I do want to mention that I just got a message from Michelle Jones, and Matt is got some kind of reoccurring infection or something from his spider bite. Ooh. And for those of you that follow Matt and Michelle, please keep them in your prayers. It's terrible that he had that spider bite to start with, and he went through a bunch of stuff with it, and he thought he was healed up, or that's what last time I talked to him, he thought he was pretty much over it. Now he's got a reoccurrence with this thing, and those brown recluse spiders, they're a terrible, terrible thing to have bite you to start with, but they're still fighting it, and he's having a reoccurrence of this infection. So keep Matt in your thoughts and prayers. I know he'll appreciate it, and we want to get him all healed up. And so we're seeing these events throughout the year.
Right.
All right. Noah Ishcomer, welcome to Catfish Weekly.
Thank you, Lyle. Glad to be on here.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
The $64,000 question is, how hot is it in Texas?
About 106 degrees with 100% humidity.
Keep it there.
Yeah, Doc and I was talking about earlier today when we was on the phone about the weather here, and we have nothing to complain about with 106 degrees down there. Wow. That's amazing. I seen you guys was out fishing the other day. Did you have a good time?
We did. We had lots of fun. Made lots of memories, and got learned a couple things about dragging some timber and all that. We met another guy out there. Had a Sea Arc boat, Big Daddy, just like ours. He said, "Man, come out there, man. We don't really ever see any Sea Arcs out here." But we had a good time.
Well, that's why we go fishing, is have a good time. Catching fish is a bonus.
That's right. Yeah. That's why they call it fishing.
Yes, sir. If they didn't, they'd call it catching.
Yes, sir.
So you guys got a big year planned up. How much is the flooding in our area affected you guys on the amount of tournaments you've went to so far?
Well, it hasn't affected us so far. Well, yes, it did affect us on the Dixon tournament. They canceled that tournament. We're going to go up there. I think it's after Carruthersville, Missouri. I'm not sure how high the river will be then. And it might affect us up there, and it might affect us at Helena. I'm not sure. But right. Dixon's the only tournament so far it's affected us on.
Well, I know I get messages all the time about, are you going to sign up for this tournament or that tournament? And I tell them all the same thing. Until that river comes down, I'm not signing up for anything, because if it's on the river, chances we've had rain the last 2 days. Other than today, the 2 days prior, we got rain. We had 6 inches through the holiday, and you just don't know. At this particular point, the way the river has been this spring, you don't know what it's going to do, and I'm just not going to commit to anything unless I got a pretty good idea that we're going to make it or not make it. Because if they reschedule one, you don't know if you'll be able to attend that one or not.
Right.
So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
Right. But I hope it goes down by the time we get to Carruthersville and Helena, because I'd really like to fish those tournaments.
Well, Carruthersville is an awesome tournament, and there's a lot of great fish down there.
Yes,
I
sir.
know that you'll have a ball down there. I really, really liked fishing that tournament last year. Thank you. I'm glad you like that hat. I'm pretty fond of it, actually. I think it's pretty awesome. But yeah, we had a great time. The only thing that I will tell you, right there at Carruthersville, I doubt if you stay there because I don't think there's any place to stay. You have to go to the other little town. What was the name of that? I can't remember the name of the town, but it's 8 or 10 miles from Carruthersville. The mosquitoes down there are probably as big as I've ever seen, and they're the meanest things that ever flew on the face of this earth. They're giants. They're like bug engines. Oh man,
they're as big as mayflies.
Yeah, they are. They are, and they're mean. They'll hurt you, make you like them.
They will. That we was up in Carruthersville last year, and we went night fishing with a guy, and he didn't want you taking no off or no mosquito spray, you know, because it'd get on the bait, and he had one of them. I think it's called a thermocell.
Yep.
And he had it out there, and we're on the Mississippi, and the Mississippi River is already high. It was up in flood stage.
It was.
And we was up there. We was night fishing. There wasn't no breeze or anything, and we're out on a 17-foot boat, and man, I'm over here and I'm wiggling. They're tearing me up. I can't do nothing about it, and I didn't have anything to put on me. And I got home, and my back was just covered with big old whelps.
Well, and the diseases those mosquitoes pack these days, we never worried about that when Doc and I was your age. Nobody knew what West Nile and all that crap that these mosquitoes pack around now.
Right.
We never heard of anything like that. You just dealt with the itch and put a little something on it and went on. But these days, I guess bugs are just like human beings. They advance as time goes along, and the diseases they carry is terrible. So regardless of what that guy thinks about that, you need to keep as many of them off as you can. But I will tell you, Thermocell, having them in the boat with Cindy and I, and me using them when I used to bow hunt all the time, that's the best thing I've ever found. How about you, Doc?
Yeah, I've got the 300. It's good for about 15-foot area, so if I put it down in between us, it's going to cover anybody that's in the boat with me.
Right.
But, and I like it. I mean, I think mine's sitting over here.
One of the things I like about them most of all is the refills are cheap, and the Thermocell to start with is not that expensive itself.
I know one thing. We was up in Dixon, Illinois, and we was up in I was fishing for some perch in a little pond where we were staying at, and there was some mosquitoes bit me. Well, up there, if there's a bunch of gnats around you, you put some soybeans junior on you, and them gnats, I mean, they'll just go away from you. You put some on your face, some soybean junior. Anyway, there was some mosquito bites bit me. Some mosquitoes bit me on the hand, and I put a little bit of soybean junior right on that bite. I promise you, not 2 minutes later, that bite it had diminished, and I mean, it wasn't even itching. I promise you, you put it on, it works.
You need to make a note, pick me up some of that. How does it work on flies?
They won't land on you. They'll fly around you, but they won't land on you, and they won't go. They won't go in your ears, up your nose, and.
Cindy has the worst problem with biting flies. We'll be sitting on a spot fishing or drifting, and the flies will come in the boat, and they will chew her legs up one side and down the other, and all they do is aggravate me. They don't bite me, but I feel them moving on me, and I just can't take it. But they chew her.
You know what we use for that? We use for the flies. What we use is that Sunset insect repellent.
Sunset.
We got some of that from Jeremy at the Cabela's tournament trail. We put it on there, man. They won't come around and stuff.
What it is?
Sunset.
Never heard of it.
I never heard of that. We'll
It's
check into that.
Sun and insect, like the insect, kind of like that. Yeah. And it's sunscreen too, sunscreen and insect repellent at the same time.
The best thing I've found for them is a fly swatter in the boat.
Oh Lord!
Did you find your thing, Doc?
Yeah. I just got this thermocell. Dick's had it on sale, a closeout sale. This is the 300. I paid $14 for this thing.
See what I mean? That's just too cheap.
Yeah, and I mean it came with a cartridge and a couple of the pads. So,
Wow.
man, just carry this on board the boat.
Yeah.
Cheap.
And the refills and the pads that goes in there are very inexpensive to start with. So, and they work. That's the whole key to them. They work.
Well, and then I saw there's a hack on the internet. Everybody's always trying to how you can refill these things on these things. They got a check valve in there. People pop out, and there's all different ways that people do it. And you just take a butane lighter and fill it back up, and boom, you're ready to go.
Wow, that's cool.
So,
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Appreciate that. Yeah, thermostells. If you have mosquito problems, that's
and it's good for flies. I mean, I take it. I go to a lot of concerts right here in Springfield, and that. Thanks, Palamo Cats. I have that running while I'm sitting there just to keep flies off of me. And it goes about 4 hours.
Yep. Pretty cool. What's that?
Time to spin.
Oh, time to spin, Doc.
Go.
Yeah. Let me move some stuff down here a little bit where I can see what's going on. And we'll get over to this page. Noah, pick me out a number between 1 and 5.
3.
1, 2, 3. And the winner is Landon Huggins. What a great little young man Landon is. He lives in the St. Louis area, Jason Huggins' son. And Landon will be on Catfish Weekly next month as our youth spotlight of the month.
All right.
Whisker Sticks LED lights. Landon, if you'll contact Tim and Lena with Whisker Sticks LED lights and tell them you won some prizes on the Brig Rat prize wheel on Catfish Weekly, they will ship them right out to you. Young man, thank you so much for watching our show. I know that you're in there tonight because I've seen you in chat. And thanks so much for playing the Brig Rat prize wheel game.
He said he won something else today.
He won something else today. Well, that's awesome. Tim and Lena, thank you guys for being a sponsor to our show. We appreciate everything you do for us, and I know all the winners sure do appreciate it.
Hey, Lyle, did you hear about us getting that new boat?
No, sir, I did not. Why don't you tell us about it?
We're getting that. It's the Easy Cat, the Sea Arc Easy Cat, the 26-foot. It's between a Pro Cat and a Big Easy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got the front couches of a Big Easy. And it's got the back fishing of a Pro Cat 240.
Oh, uh-huh.
And it's got the windshield, and we're gonna be getting it in September. It's gonna have the red and black ant package on it.
Oh,
All right, very nice. Congratulations, you guys. I know you'll enjoy that.
Yes, sir.
How big of a motor are you getting on this one?
Well, we're swapping out the motors from our boat to that boat, so I'm still gonna have the 250 SS.
Did you sell your old boat?
We're in the process of it.
Okay.
But we're working on selling it.
Awful bad.
Sir?
I know a gentleman that's wanting it awful bad.
Yes, sir. I think we got someone who wants it pretty bad. But we'll see.
Yep.
William Barnes. If we're talking about the Joey Kirby rig, you can go to Walmart.com to get these.
Right, any other questions in there, Doc?
Yeah, who catches the most fish? You, Noah, or the girls?
Well, I'm not gonna let I don't know who catches the most, but I know who caught the biggest. That was my sister. Now I might catch the most, but she got the biggest. If that's fair. But
my question, Noah, is when you're in the boat and you're fishing with your mother and Hannah, is it ladies first or whoever gets to the rods first?
in the boat there's no ladies, there's just get out of my way. There's there's either it's a what do you call it? It's a everyone for themselves.
Okay.
But
Now, when you get that new boat, I bet things change because y'all are going to be kicked back and lounging in the front deck.
I fished with Larry Muse at that USSA Child's Wish in Gunnersville, Alabama, and I went with him, and we took some people out fishing, and I was setting up between the console. Well, we caught the biggest fish that day. It was a 53-pounder, and the girl in the wheelchair caught it. Anyway, we was up there, and we went and ate lunch, and we come back, and we went out there fishing, got the same spot, and we had them suspended. And we was out there, and I seen the rod, and Larry never seen it. I seen the rod go, it went straight down, and we had them suspended out. It went down, and I was to the back of that boat before he was out of his chair, and I had that rod in my hand. He said, I'm going to trip you next time you do that. He said, I put the speed limit on my boat where you can't go that fast. He said, next time you do that, he said, I'm sticking my foot out there and I'm going to trip you.
That sounds like Larry, all right.
But
Adam Isaac says, Noah, what rigs do you guys use?
whenever we're fishing lakes, we use the Santee Cooper rig. The
Carolina.
Santee Cooper with the the cork, or no, it's I get the Carolina because one of them's with the cork and one of them's not. You're gonna forgive me for not remembering.
It's
But
all right.
it's a Carolina or Santee Cooper. That's it, Santee Cooper. But we use a Santee Cooper, and then whenever we're dragging, just it's normal dragging weight, and the weight on the 3-way swivel, and then the Jared Girardi. We use Jared Girardi's bloodline drift weights. Man, them things will work. We was up on Rayburn the other day. I think Dad did a video on it. Them fish were hitting them weights left and right. We caught 9 fish that day, and I think we caught 7 of them on bloodline drift weights.
Awesome.
And I mean, they would, and whenever they hit it, they don't. You'll know it. they hit it aggressively.
Now, are you using the weights that Jerry has that has the place in there for the additive?
Yes, sir.
And what are you putting in there?
We put shad blood and we put skipjack blood. Now up on I think we tried them. I think we tried them on Wheeler with skipjack blood, and we caught fish on them. And we was in Tawakoni pre-fishing, and we was dragging with them, and we had a little bit of shad blood from we had, I think, 4 or 5 shad in a bag, and we took the shad out. The wasn't but about a little bit of blood in there, and we poured it in there, and we was dragging. About 15 minutes later, wham! I think it was like a 34, 35 pounder. It was the first fish we caught on them.
Nice.
And, I think like the second time we used them, first fish we caught on them, 34 pounder.
That's pretty good.
Go ahead.
I see Stacy Gaston is in our chat, and he says old Doc can move pretty fast as himself. But Stacy, I got to tell you, you've seen a rod get jerked out of Doc's hand and him go run across that boat, across that back deck trying to get one. You ain't seen him move yet, because he gets it on when that rod gets jerked out of his hand. He really does. I would give anything if we'd had that video camera going at that particular time.
Man, that was the first time I'd ever used that rod, and I thought it was gone.
Oh, them Asian carp. Whenever we're skipjack fishing, them Asian carp. Whenever you're like below Wheeler Dam or whatever, or Wilson, you'll catch them and they'll fight. Man, on them skipjack boats, you'll think you got 5 skipjack on there. But we found out a use for Asian carp. Asian carp. Nobody really. We found out something you can use them for.
What's that?
You cut. Well, you really ain't got to cut them. They flop around. They bleed a lot, but you cut them, and they got a lot of blood on them. You put them in them bloodline drift weights, Oh man, that works.
I was getting a lot easier to get the blood out of them because, like you say, is anything they touch, they bleed on, and it'd be a lot easier to get that blood out of those than it would be one of them little old shad or a skipjack or something.
That's right.
There's not a whole lot of blood in them unless they're pretty good size, but it's not hard in our area to get a 30 or 40 pound Asian in the boat. And
Woo.
man, you could just cut his tail and put something underneath him, hold him up till he quit bleeding, and then dispose of him. Because in our state, you're not allowed to throw them back in the water alive. You have to kill them before you throw them back. That's just they don't want them. They don't want them in there if you can keep from it.
Well, I don't think I will. We probably do have them in Texas, but man, I ain't seen one yet in Texas. But I hope we don't get them.
I don't see how you could possibly get them unless somebody brought them down or transport them, because the Mississippi waterway, which most all of the big rivers flow into it, and any place that flows into it will have them, unless it's stopped by a dam or something. But Texas doesn't have any water that flows into the Mississippi, to my knowledge.
Right.
But
Peter said beat them Asians with a ball bat before you cut them in the blood pond. Well, he said ponds up in the meat.
that's true. That's true. You
Wow.
just beat on them, and the blood, the meat softens up and absorbs that blood and just holds it in there.
Wow.
And we've used a lot of Asian carp for bait up here, and the hotter it gets in the summertime, the better it works.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
I remember we was up in Helena, Arkansas at the tournament, and we had some of them little shad, probably about, well, I think there was, I don't know if there's little gizzard shad or them the little yellow fins, but anyway, we had some of them, and we caught them in the cast net that morning, and we went out there and we was bumping. We got out there and started bumping, and we put them in the front live well. And these things are only probably about 3-4 inches long. We could put 1 or 2, maybe even 3 of them on there. And we'd bump down there. We had I think our first 5 fish within the first 5 minutes. We caught close to 40. I think we counted 47 fish that day.
Wow.
I mean, but once they started dying, the bite started slacking off. And but them little things, and we seen some little Asian carp, probably about that long, probably about 8 inches long. That just come and jump out the water. I mean, if you could have caught some of them live and hooked on there, I'm sure you could have caught something.
Noah, Joey Kirby wants to know if he says he cuts himself every time he goes out. How about putting some of that in there?
Good Lord. Oh Lord, have mercy. I don't know. He might put the smack down on him.
He might. If he's cutting himself that bad and just bleeding that much, you might want to put a tourniquet on that finger.
Right?
That's what I just said about Missouri.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's most places is. Most places is. But yeah, we catch them things, and I'll tell you, for those that don't know, not to interrupt Noah, but we cut the tenderloin part of those Asian carp out, come big old strips of it, and they bleed and all the juice and stuff that runs out of them, and we seal them up in a Ziploc bag and put them on ice. You can freeze them, you can thaw them, you can freeze them again. They don't get soft like other baits do. They'll stay on your hook, and once you get that hook through that skin on them, you nearly
It ain't coming off.
it off. It's not coming off. No, it's a great bait.
Whenever we Dad caught the first time we ever used Asian carp. Dad caught I think it was 55 pounder on it, and we got down there. Dad just said, let's just bump on down the river, and we had one jump in the boat, and normally I just grab him, throw him out the boat, and he said just leave that one in there. He said we use it for bait. I said okay. Well, he said let's just bump on down the river. He said I got a good feeling. Anyway, we bumped on down and caught the 55 and caught some 20s, and Man, when I take that stuff off the hook, I had to cut it off the hook with that flay knife.
That's right.
It wasn't coming off.
We use a one of the old skinners that you skin catfish with. We don't use it for skinning catfish, but we do use it for peeling that stuff off the hook, and it works really good. Noah,
Yes, sir.
we give away something else. You got another number in mind?
Let's go with 2.
1, 2, and the winner is Sandra Wells.
Sandra Wells.
Sandra Wells. She's from down in your great state of
Oh,
Texas.
yes, sir.
Carl will be mad because she won. He didn't.
Well, what guy?
I don't know. But Sandra, if you will contact Whisker Sticks LED Lights and tell Lena and Tim that you won on Catfish Weekly, they will hook you up with one of their great light products. Thanks so much for watching our show and being a part of the Rig Wrap Prize Wheel game. Again, Tim and Lena, thank you guys so much for everything you do. And by the way, please don't forget to keep Tim in your thoughts and prayers also, as he was attacked by a dog a few weeks ago, and I haven't talked to him this week, but I do know that last week when I visited with him, he's still not doing very good. His leg's still a mess, and is going to be off work for a while. So remember Tim, because he needs all the help he can get right now to get healed up from this dog attack.
That's his personal best.
What is the biggest fish you ever caught?
53 pounds. It was in the Mississippi River.
That's a giant.
Caught it bumping. It was a first big fish I ever caught bumping.
That's awesome, man. That's a great fish. And in the current that's on the Mississippi River, you're in for a war. It's not a battle, it's a war.
And the good thing was we had a guy who was trying to show how to bump on the boat right when we caught it. It was perfect timing. I mean, but I was gonna tell you, we got of course y'all probably know, but we got a YouTube channel now, the Catfish and Christians, and I think we got 13, 14 videos up already. And go by there and like and subscribe.
Absolutely. Now, for those that don't know how to do that, if you go to youtube.com and / Catfish and Christians, it should pull their web page or their YouTube channel right up for you. Then you can watch all those videos.
We put Tanner, a boy from Alabama. He went. He goes to a church here that we go to in Alabama, and he said, "I want to go fishing." He said, "I want to catch one of them big old fish." And they asked, "Well, we'll be coming back down for the Sea Art tournament, and we'll take you out fishing." And we took him out. And his videos on our YouTube page. It's he caught a I can't remember, 53 or 54 pound flathead, the first fish we caught that day. And we put him on that fish, and man, well, you can see the video on there, man. It was a massive fish. Because I think the biggest flathead I've ever seen myself was about 20, 30 pounds. But
I'll take some of them.
Couple of questions here, Noah. Do you prefer dragging, anchoring, or bumping?
Well, it depends on where I'm at. If summertime, I'm going bumping. Bumping in the Mississippi, there ain't nothing like it. Going down the river, and then you're holding it, and that suspense, and then because you don't know what they're gonna do, if they're gonna slam it, pick it up, or run up river, or just sit there with it. But wintertime, I'm gonna be anchoring probably. Or drifting. I like drifting lakes. But summertime, I'm gonna be bumping.
Carl Wells wants to know, what do you contribute all your success to?
God. God is he's everything to what we do. I mean, the Catfishing Christians, and that's who I give my success to, is God.
Good deal.
But
does he ever use freshwater drum, Gasper goose, for catfish bait?
You got to run that by me one more time.
Do you ever use freshwater drum, aka Gasper goose, for catfish bait?
No, sir, not that I can think of. I haven't ever used it for bait. No, sir. I've heard people that eats it and use it for bait, but I haven't ever done it.
Okay.
But
They're not very tasty. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I've tried them for bait and tried them for bait. I've never even had a bite on them in all the years, and I do think that would be a great fish to use if you happen to catch one. You wanted to try out some of these scent additives. I think they would be a great bait to try that on. Now, I do know guys that use the small ones for flathead fishing, but I've tried it for 30 years for cut bait, and it's never worked for me. I know guys say they catch them on it, but like I say, if I was going to try an additive and I had one of them, that's what I'd put it on, because it doesn't seem to work any other way for me. But like I say, a lot of guys use them, have great success with them.
right, yeah. But have you sold your old boat yet, Lyle?
No, got a guy working on it right now. We hope to have it sold, so we can go ahead and get our new one. I'm excited about that. We're in the works of getting a wrap design put together for it. So we'll have some surprises on the wrap. I can't wait to get that done. We took a guy out in it, and they're trying to negotiate the deal right now.
Yeah,
so we'll see how it works out.
Yes, sir. We'll be getting ours in September, I think. The last August, 1st September is what they say, and I'm excited about it. I can't wait. We went up there on Dixon and fished out of Catmat's Easy Cat. Man, that was amazing. I mean, them couches in it is just amazing.
You must be
windshield. Hey, I did. I went to sleep on them, Dad. They. I mean, it's nice. But
enclosure on it.
We'll have the ProCat enclosure for it, the one that goes from the windshield on back. We won't be getting the full 26-foot enclosure.
That'd be a lot.
And and if don't hold me to it, but I'm not thinking you can run with that enclosure on. I'm not thinking you can.
Well, the amount of wind that it would catch, if there was a whisper of a wind,
oh Lord,
it would be bad. So, but yeah, that would be the deal. What reels and line do you prefer?
Me myself, I like Gamma monofilament line, and I like Abu Garcia reels. But for braid, Lord help me. I don't even know what brand of right now on my bumping reel I got Rampage line. It works pretty good. I got it hung and I had to wrap it around the rod holder, and it stopped the boat in the river. It wouldn't break, and we had to back it up with the motor to break it. But yeah, other than that, I like Gamma monofilament line. I ain't tried the Gamma braid yet, but I'm gonna try some of that up there in Caruthersville. Some 80-pound. I heard it's good stuff. But Abu Garcia, for the anchor and poles, we use Abu Garcia 7000s, and for bumping and most of the time drifting, we use Abu Garcia 6500C Catfish Special.
Great reel.
Hayden Gunther wants to know your favorite rod for bumping.
Warrior Cat. Awesome rod. Lots of sensitivity, and it's got plenty of backbone on it. I mean, it's just an awesome rod. It's
What do you use?
Team Catfish. I use Team Catfish whenever we're up in Dixon or Dixon and Carlisle. We use 5/0. When we're on Wheeler or anywhere else, we use 8 and 10/0. But very good stout hooks, very strong, got a good offset, and I love them. They're very sharp.
Landon's Fishing Adventures wants to know what all three of us think about the black carp problem. And Landon, I'm doing some research on that right now. I have not formed an opinion on that. They're really going to have to show me something for me to think it's as detrimental as the Asian carp in fluctuation we have, but I am studying on it. I've read 2 or 3 articles, and I have 2 or 3 more that I've saved back to read. So I yet haven't performed an opinion on that. Doc, have you?
No, I just saw the thing, an article today. That is the first time I've seen something.
Yeah,
What
it's
was
pretty
it?
new. Black carp.
Oh, I like what Doc said. I seen something like that today, and I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be something like the Asian carp. I don't know. It just take time to tell.
Yeah, I don't know enough about it to make an honest opinion yet.
Right.
Where did they get their catfish?
Hmm?
Where did they?
Oh, somebody wants to know where you got your passion for catfishing.
I've always loved the catfish, but my dad and of course, well, both my parents they love to fish. But my dad, I remember. Let me see. My dad, we would go fishing out on Rayburn, and we had a lake outing at the with our church, and we went jugging or noodling, and we caught, I think it was a 32-pound on a jug, and I mean I know it wasn't on pole, but that was that was when I started liking big catfish, and we went up, and of course when Dad got the boat, we went out, but what really started it was when the the junior angler lake record on Rayburn, and it was a 32-pounder, but it was on pole, and that was, man, I got to thinking, man, I can actually catch big fish, and the more I caught more of them, the more I wanted to catch them, but
Well, you're like the rest of us. I like to catch them all. I like to catch channel cats as much as I do blues and flatheads. But once you catch a big one, you're always looking for the next one bigger than that one was.
that's right,
So that's just kind of the way it works.
catfish fever.
That's right. That's right. So, I've caught a giant channel cat. I don't suppose that I'll ever beat that. But flatheads and blues, there's always the chance every time you go out to up the one you had. Even if you have a giant like Hannah's got, the next trip out she could beat that. So
That's right. Like Stacy, he caught that. It was 92 when we caught it, but it was 80. I think it was 89 by the time we got it to the weigh-in, and then he went out and caught 100, and I think it was 103 or 105. I think it was the next trip out.
Yep.
I mean that's a massive fish.
That is, they're giants, and I know there's bigger ones there, and there's lots bigger than that in the Mississippi. You just gotta get them, and it is what it is. We're gonna spin a wheel again, Noah. You got another number for me?
Let's do 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the winner is Lisa Haraway. Congratulations, Lisa. That wheel's working a lot better, isn't it? Offshore Tackle. Lisa, if you'll contact me after the show and tell me what your shipping address, I have some great products from Offshore Tackle that you're going to love, and I will ship them right out. And thank you so much for watching Catfish Weekly, playing the Rig Wrap Prize Wheel. And want to thank Bruce and Nick DeShano for everything they do for our show. And they don't just help us, they do a lot for the entire fishing sport, not just catfishing. They're one of the longest running planer board businesses in the nation. They make an outstanding product. We use them every time we go to the lake, and thank them for all the help they give us and passing out prizes for the people that watch our show.
Where can someone get the bloodline weight?
That's a good question for Noah. Noah, can you tell people how to get the bloodline weights?
You can go to Jared Girardi, Bloodline Drift Weights. He's on Facebook, and I think now he's Jared Girardi Bloodline Tackle. I think, but you can go there and contact him, and he's got what the drifting sticks. Whenever they go, they they drift straight up and they bounce on bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And they work very well. And he's got the bloodline driftways, and he's got some other ones. I don't know if he's got them out yet or he's still working on them, but they work really well. All of his products work very well, but I think my favorite, or I got two of them that I love, and one of them is the bloodline driftweight, the one that has a scent, and then the other one is the one that stands up, and it's called the I don't know what it's called, but it works very well. Very good product.
Well, the one is called the standing sticks.
That's him.
That's these
That's
right
it.
here. He had sent me some for our giveaway. We give away some, and we're going to have Jerry on the show here. As soon as we get a spot to work him in, we'll have him on the show, and he can tell us all about these. And these are the scented ones. Down in here is the place you put your scent. You bounce it along the bottom, and it's supposed to dispense stuff out. I'm quite sure it does. I like the length of these, Doc, because they'll go over so much stuff. Because when I'm doing that, a lot of times we're in treetops and stumps, fields, and all kinds of stuff. And the length of these will help you from a lot of times from getting hung up. So
That's right.
great products.
And they got it where you can adjust how much comes out and how fast it comes out too.
Yep. So we'll get Jerry on here and we can tell us all about it, and it'll be a blast to do that. And it's great to know we had your dad on when we give those away on our show here a while back, and we had a bad connection and didn't get all the information like we wanted. It was really tough to hear him, and but you guys use them all the time, and I'm glad to know that you guys like the way they work and everything's good for them. So we're excited to have Jerry on here. We'll get a date, get him on here, and he can tell us all about them. And we got some more stuff to give away for him.
That's right.
So that'll be good. Noah, thank you so much for spending your Monday night with us. We appreciate it very much. We wish you guys the greatest success in your fishing adventures this year. I know that you guys got a bunch of tournaments planned up. And
14.
What's that?
14.
14 yet to go. That's going to be a busy, busy time.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yep.
What's that? But
okay. Cindy said to be sure to ask you if you had any sponsors that you'd like to talk about, because I've been forgetting to ask people that.
I got D&T Custom, which is Dustin Fall. If you need any metal work on your boat, aluminum metal work, need a rod rack, need a live well put in your boat, he can do it. Of course, you got Bloodline Driftweights, which we just talked about, Jerry Girardi. You got, let's see, River Route Reel Repair. If you need any reel repair, any reels clean, he can do it. When you get them back, they'll be better than new.
Better than new.
They'll be better than new. And he does an excellent job cleaning them and repairing them. And there's Ann's Rod Socks. If you got any rod socks, you're tired of your rods, and you put them in your rod locker or put them wherever you're putting them. Their eyes hitting, messing your eyes up, scratching your rods. Put them over that, man. They go in your rod. They go in your rod locker so much easier. And see, there's Dale's Tackle. If you don't need any tackle, just go to dalestackle.com. Go to him on Facebook. Got all the tackle, all you need. If you can't find it there, just contact him. I'm sure he can get it for you.
I'm sure.
He's got just about anything you need. If you can't find it there, I don't think you'll find it anywhere. But Dale's Tackle. That's what I just said. And but I think Lord, my mind's going out on me. I can't. I know I forget people. I said that too.
I got to tell you, Noah, you've done a bang-up job. We were so happy to have you on the show with us tonight. You've done a really great job, and I know that you guys have got a bunch of stuff planned up, and we're going to be seeing you at some of these events on down the road, so looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to it, too. Thank y'all for having me on tonight.
Oh, you're very welcome. We want you guys to do good. You and Hannah and Rachel, all these young guys, all these young people that are in the sport of catfishing, you guys are the future of our sport. And we're so proud to have great kids like you guys coming up and doing good. We'll have another next month also. Landon is a super nice guy.
Yes, sir. That's just one more thing, and then I'll.
Okay.
But I was thinking about and I just come to my mind, just you're off thinking, but anyway, I was thinking about and I talked to Jeremy about it, and he said Cabela's is trying to get one. It's a tournament for just kids 16 and under, and a catfishing tournament, and well, I think fishing for the future or something like that. It's for kids 16 and under. I think that would be a good idea.
I'm all in on it. If we can make it happen, I'm ready.
I'm trying to figure out a good lake to have it on. Oh, I think we know where that would happen, but I think that'd be a good idea. But it's just a thought I threw out there.
I think it's a great idea. I'd love to see that. Maybe we can make that happen one of these days. Enough people put their heads together.
Yes, sir.
All right, Noah. Thank you so much. Catch
Yes,
a lot
sir.
of fish. We'll be seeing you soon.
Yes, sir. Yes,
What's
sir.
that, Doc?
Thanks for being on the show.
Absolutely.
Thank y'all for having me.
Doc, what a great young man he is. Done a bang-up job with us tonight. I've got a couple of things here, Doc, I want to go over before we get on to Doc's tip of the week. First on the list is the Alton Catfish Classic, 9/14 of 2019. You can contact Mark McMurray at Bluff City Tackle or Alex Nagy. This is the biggest tournament, to my knowledge, that's been held in the St. Louis area. Large payout, big fish. Hoping the water gets down by then. I see no reason, unless we keep getting rain, I see no reason for not to be some great fish caught there. And for you guys that think you've been in places where there's a lot of big fish, you come to St. Louis, you'll find out where the real fishing is. And when you won't catch one or two like that, you're liable to catch a whole bunch of them down there. That's a great venue to fish. You got the Missouri River and the Mississippi River and the confluence where they come together. You got downtown St. Louis, above the Alton Dam. It's just an outstanding fishery, and there'll be a lot of giants caught down there. So be sure to check that out. Fishing for Freedom, Quincy, Illinois is having a fundraiser Saturday, July 13th at the Southside Boat Club in Quincy, Illinois. $90 pre-registration, $120 day of the event. Guaranteed $500 first. Second is $200. Third is $100, and 50% of the money goes for the big fish pot goes to the winner. Now, all of the revenue off of this goes for the Fishing for Freedom tournament held the first weekend of June every year, and this is a money-making deal for them. If you happen to be in the Quincy, Illinois area, please stop by and visit them. Even if you're not fishing, they would love to see you and know about what you think of their event. They put on an outstanding deal, and it benefits the greatest people we have to offer assistance to, and that's the United States military personnel, past, present, and future. So be sure to check out those guys. And Doc, something that we should have been talking about, Mississippi River Monsters is September the 21st.
Yep, not very far off.
The 18th and 19th will be big days for people pre-fishing. If I read that correctly, $1,000 a day. Is that right?
That is correct. It was bumped up from 500 to 1,000.
That is for the biggest fish caught each of those 2 days, $1,000 cash money. That's a huge payout. And George and Bill are doing a bang-up job. They're just doing wonderful. It's just a really cool deal. One of the things that I wanted to touch on for just a second is Glenn at Rig Wrap has a drawing going for the first 50 boats that's entered in this. You can win $180 worth of Rig Wrap prize pack in a drawing if you're in the first 50 boats that's registered. So if you're going to enter the tournament and you're not registered yet, get on over, get it done, and you'll be in that drawing. And one of the prizes is a fully loaded Rig Pack 60. And Doc, everybody that don't have one of them needs one.
Yeah, and there's 36 boats registered, so it's going to close up quick here.
It shouldn't take too long to close up. They'll be the first 50 in. By the way, Doc, you know this, and we've mentioned it a time or two. It's $500 a day and an additional $500 from B&M if you have 4 B&M rods on your boat. So there's where they come up with the extra money. Thank you, Glenn. Next week, George Young Jr. and Bill Dance. Now, we've had Bill Dance on our show a couple of times. We've done interviews with him when we was in Memphis. There's not too many people in the world that's any more fun to have on a show than old Bill Dance.
Yeah, he's a hoot.
He is a blast, so knowledgeable, such a great ambassador to the sport of fishing, not just catfishing or bass fishing or crappie fishing. If it swims, he'll catch it, and he'll tell you about it, and you'll stay interested because that's Bill Dance. That's just the way it is. So don't forget, next Monday night, we're going to have George and Bill on here, and I promise you it'll be a great time. We'll give away some stuff next week with Bill on here. I'm quite sure of that.
Oh, yeah.
Doc, how about a tip of the week?
All right, tip of the week. Well, this one's a little bit different. And for one thing, I know everybody has lots of, I got to get my stuff all unhooked over here. It's all a mess. I know everybody has a lot of fishing hats and stuff like that.
I got a rig wrap hat.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that. And then, but, you know, for the most part, this is how everybody this is how in my closet, you know, I got stacks and stacks of these. Well, when I retired, my partner decided that he had worked with me for 7.5 years. He had made the statement to everybody saying said, I've worked with this man for 7.5 years. I have never seen him wear the same hat 2 days in a row. So he said, let's send him into retirement so that he can wear a different hat every day of his retirement. Well, I've collected about another 100 hats.
Wow.
So I come up with I think it's a pretty good idea, but I'll let you guys be the judge of that. And here's the things that you need. You need a wooden hanger. This is let's see. This is a suit hanger. I think I got that. There it is. Suit hanger. Got it at Walmart. It needs to be wood, and you'll see why. You need a set of binder clips. You can get these. The hangers, you get 5 of them for about, I think, $5. Binder clips are $1 for a package. And then you need the metal shower rings. Okay? So what you do is you take this binder clip and you take a shower ring and you put it through there, and only do it through one clip. Then you take a hat. Now you can hang it either on the back. I prefer hanging it from the bill, just like that. So it's easy. And then when it's all said and done, this is what you end up with. You end up with about 10 hats.
Heck yeah.
On a hanger. That can be, I've got a spare closet. These take up no more room than maybe 2 shirts at the most, 2-3 shirts at the most. So you can hang them here. And what's nice about it is if you disengage one hat, the hat that you had on, like this one, you can put it right back on there. Now this altogether, this weighs like 3 pounds. And how do I know that? I used a rig wrap scale and hung it on here to find out how heavy it is. And the reason you go to wood is plastic and the metal hangers are going to start to bow. I mean, I had them on plastic hangers, and I noticed after a couple of days that thing was starting to really lean down. So I went to the wood hanger, and that's a good way to store hats and keep them in order. And that's Doc's tip for the week.
Doc, that's a great tip. I can see me getting a couple of them hangers because, you know, the way I sweat out in the sun, my hats get ruined pretty quick, and we take a bunch of spares. So Cindy's going to have to make room in the truck when we travel, so Lyle can have a place to hang his hats like Doc does.
Yep.
That's an awesome thing. I never would have thought of
It'd
that.
be easy to take with you too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to carry your hats rather than, and you want a bunch of hats, you can just stack them on here and then hook them to your vehicle. So
Justin Fisher finishes. His wife has control of the closet. That's great, man. That is great. You know, Doc, I forgot one announcement that I was supposed to make. Our buddy Steve Johnson out in California, they have the Golden State Catfish Clash coming up July 20th, 2019 at Redbug Park, 14655 Ballpark Avenue in Clear Lake, California. If you happen to be from the California area, look old Steve up. If you need information, he's easy to find on Facebook. They'll hook you up with all the information to fix that tournament. California has got some giant catfish out there, and I look for them to make a bigger splash in the next few years than they're already making because they got some giants out there, and guys like Steve are the ones helping promote that area, and he's doing a fabulous job. And, Doc, you know as well as I do, he's a hoot to be around. I love old Steve.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a super nice guy. And, Glenn, you are correct. I want to thank George and Bill and everybody involved for asking me. I will be emceeing the Mississippi River Monsters weigh-in and helping them with the captain's meeting the night before when we get to Memphis. Cindy and I will not fish the event this year. Well, she might, but she's not going to fish it with me because I got other things I'm going to be doing. But I'm really looking forward to this. I think it'll be a lot of fun, and we're going to try to help them get everything done up so we can make this as big as possibly can, and get as many boats entered. So don't forget to go get registered, and you'll be in the drawing in the first 50 boats that signed up for the big rig rack prize. That's going to be awesome. Doc, did you have anything else to go over tonight?
Well, did you want to finish up where we left off last week, or?
Well, we're running a little over an hour, but, you know, one of the things that we was talking about last week, different techniques of catfishing, and one of the questions that kept coming up, and I'm not sure we ever addressed that, was the difference between drifting and dragging. And dragging is basically, in my opinion, and we'll get to yours in just a second, depends on I'm going to go ahead and start. Dragging is when you're in a controlled destination. You're starting at point A, and you're dragging baits behind you, out to the side of you on planer boards or however you want to do it, but you're going from point A to point B, and then from point B to C, or however it is. We're drifting, depending on where you're at. If you're on a lake, you're either being wind blowed or you're in a controlled drift using your trolling motor, or if you're on the river systems, you're drifting backwards while your trolling motor slowing you down, trying to pull you forward. There's just a number of different ways that that's done, and each one of them has a specific way to do that.
Correct. Yeah, and everybody's different. We all do everything different.
Haven't caught one. We have big flatheads. You know, we go to the lake, and most always we're in a controlled pull. If we're in a cove, we go down one side of the cove, back up the middle, or on the other side of the ledge. I love dragging, pulling baits on a controlled pull on a ledge.
Yeah.
Because fish use those ledges as a corridor going from the one place to another. They don't have to get out. The little ones don't have to get out where the big fish are at or in deep water. If they're looking for bait, they'll be up shallow. You can cover the shallow areas. You can cover the deep areas and everything in between. And one of the things that I really like about it is you can set that up on your iPilot, on your trolling motor and your depth finder, and it'll stay right on that contour line. So once you hit those fish, you can stay right on them. And man, some days, Doc, that really works well.
Yes, it does. When I was on Wilson Lake, that's what I was doing. I was staying right on that edge of those ledges, and those fish were right there. You know, I put 4 big giant fish in the boat. You know, I had to have Stacy and Joey come down and help me out with the one. So that was a good day.
Ledges are a great thing to, and there's always structure on it. A ledge in itself is structure, but it seems like if you're on a ledge, and it doesn't matter if it's on a lake or on a river, there'll be a tree limb or a rock pile or a whole bunch of rocks that fell off of a bluff. There's something in there, and they'll all attract fish.
Can you use just a current if it's not that fast? Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
And most of the time, I like to drag into it, or even anchor. You know, you can anchor when there's current. Anchoring is one of my favorite ways of fishing if there's current. So, and let's see, I got here's one of my rigs that I use, and I've just got, this is just a short thing. The orange line is coming from your rod that you're using, and then I've got a suspended float right there tied to an 8/0 circle hook with a rattler on it. The one thing I do a lot different than most people is I use a 3-way, and only because if they don't want to take this rig, then I can just easily go and see where it's at. I got to find it. I can go real quick and change up and go to my, like a bottom bouncing, or I can go to a 3-way rig so that this unit is suspended more. This is my bottom bouncing rig that I use, you know, and this is really short compared to what I normally use, just for the fact that, you know, I'm here on the camera trying to demonstrate this. Again, the orange line is coming from your rod, and the sinker is actually, and this is very important when you're bottom bouncing, the sinker needs to go where on the same swivel that goes to your line, that goes to your rod, so that you get that feel when it bumps that bottom. I like to use the chain swivel. A lot of people say, well, that's a lot of knots that can fail. Well, if you tie good knots, you don't have to worry about them failing.
That's 100% correct, Dog.
Yeah. So, you know, and that's a lot of people have, you know, commented about that. Another rig, let's see. Here's another one. I like to use this one on anchor down, and that's it. The old Demon Dragon, you know, or, you know, the Joey Kirby rig, which we showed earlier. Same thing. Orange line right there on it, coming from the rod, and then I used the green line so it would show up real good on the computer here. But what's nice about the dragons and stuff like that is you can adjust them. If you want the bait to kind of hang down underneath that dragon, especially if you're on a flat, a mud flat, you know, you might want to kind of stir up a little bit of stuff because your weight is dragging along. So a lot of times I'll take this Demon Dragon, I'll just shove it forward. So actually the bait is hanging below the Demon Dragon. You know, the Demon Dragon is not suspending it. But then there's times where I've got to have it back here where I want that Demon Dragon, especially if I'm going through trees or some kind of hardware. You know, I don't want to lose this stuff. And last but not least, I want to make sure I get everything here. You know, like I said earlier, I like to anchor. So I'm going to bring out Doc's little prop right here.
Glenn, there it is. You've been waiting for the prop.
Okay.
Here it is.
So one of my favorite ways to do fishing for fish is anchoring, but you got to have current to anchor. So a lot of times if I'm below a dam, now I don't get close to dams. I stay a long ways away from dams. I get real. Lynn and I saw some people drown at a dam one time, and I just don't get near them. I try to stay as far away from them as I can. I get a little yancy. So, but I do, there's good spots to fish below a dam. I mean, there's ledges, there's holes to go to. And a lot of times when you're fishing below a dam, you can have some nice current going. So you go and Doc's, I'm on fish big time. So I go to one pole and see, there I am sitting there using my one pole, and I've cast out a line. I've got a fish that's sitting there working. And so I catch him, I bring him in, and then I throw back out, and I'm trying to get on that same spot. Like my Lowrance will tell me, Lowrance or Humminbird will tell you how far back that hole is if you set a waypoint and then you pull up and anchor up in front of it. Well, one of the issues that can happen is while you're out there and they change the gates, so you start having more current. Well, you're on the fish, and here's what happens. If you're using monofilament and you got that current and your rod is just sitting here kind of dancing around, it's not a fish. What's happening is the water pressure is lifting that weight up. So almost all my rigs have got the rig wrap easy sinker slide on it. Rather than bring that in because the weight is too light, what is really nice is you stick another weight on there, you put it on this main line, and you send it zip lining down to the bottom, and then now you've got 8 ounces on the bottom, and now it's holding your bait down. So that's another tip that you can use. That's what I really like about these rig wraps. The other thing that I've been messing around with is I get hung up a lot, and I don't like to lose bait. So now I've got like this cannonball. It probably weighs close to 2 pounds. And what I've been doing is I attach it to a rig wrap and I send it down that line to see if I can shake loose, whatever it's hung on. Either that or just break, it just flies into it and busts it right off, and I get all my stuff back. But I'm still toying with that idea. But
now, my question is, have you tried that yet, Doc?
What,
running one down there to break you loose when you're tangled up?
Yeah, and it has worked.
What's the success rate with that?
I only used it one time and it worked.
Well, that's 100%. Now,
I don't get hung up that often. Normally I don't, but when you're on Wilson, man, there's trot lines and all that kind of stuff. Oh, yeah. So
Paper too.
one of the things that I'm interested about that, Doc, is a 2-pound cannonball. I'm convinced that that easy sinker slide will hold the 2-pound. I have thrown 20 ounces or 20 or 24. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember whether it's 20 or 24. And I didn't just pitch it out there. I hauled off and let the big dog eat. Yeah. So if they'll take that, they should be able to hold a 2. Most of the time, what's hung is your sinker anyhow. It's not your hook or your demon dragon or your float or whatever it is. So if you hit that hard enough to jar it, you probably can knock it off and then just reel it all back up.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to determine, when you're bumping, you're usually not using near that kind of weight. So if you're hung up with say a 3 or a 4 or a 6 ounce weight, a 16 might do it.
Yeah. I just happened to have this one. I already had it. And so I've just been kind of playing around with it. A few weeks ago, I fished with Roger DeMint. I didn't have it on board the boat. I got hung up and, we had to, bust it loose, but we finally got it. But, it's another thing that, just might work. So far, I'm pretty impressed with it. And these sinker slides do a real nice job of, you don't have to cut your line or anything. That's what's nice. You just thread it on there and then send that bad boy zip line down through there. So
you put a 2-pound sinker on an easy sinker slide and slid it down to break you loose.
yeah,
Awesome.
send it down. So
Awesome.
what I did is, I got lead ingots and I've got those, and I've been trying another way to do it where I've got a wire tie through it, and then I attach that wire tie to this and send it down. So
that's really good. Now listen, you guys, if y'all have any questions about what we talked about the last couple of weeks about drifting or dragging or bumping or any of the techniques we talked about, if there's something that we didn't cover and you want to know about it, message us on Facebook or send us a message to catfishweekly.com. You can message us on there, or you can send us an email to catfishweeklytv@gmail.com, and we'll get to these questions and we'll put them up on the show for you. I mean, we're happy to do it. We've tried to catch as many of them as we can. We tried to cover as many of the techniques. They're called many different things and used differently by most every fisherman, but that's kind of the gist of the way we do it, and we wanted to cover it as accurately as we can. But if there's any questions or anything else you'd like us to touch on or any other subject, just give us a shout. We'll be happy to go over it. Doc and I visit best about every day, sometimes more than once a day. And if we need to discuss something on there, or if we missed something, we'll be glad to catch it up for you.
Yeah, and the reason I'm doing this kind of stuff is because a demon dragon, they're expensive. They're $5, almost $5 a piece for one of these things. So if I get them hung up, I want to get them back.
Hey, Doc. Glenn says, let's go ahead and give away a 2-pound capacity pack of easy sinker slides.
All right, let me grab everybody that's in here.
They are a great sinker slide, best I've ever used.
I like them real well.
I do. They're easy on, easy off, and they are tough. As I use heavy braided line and usually a lot of weight, and I have never tore one up. Not that you couldn't, but I haven't done it yet. But I promise you, at some point, I will probably destroy something of everybody sooner or later.
Okay, and the winner is Bank Pole Joe.
Bank Pole Joe lives up in the Columbia, Jeff City area, I believe. Joe, just send me a message after the show, and I will get these babies shipped out to you tomorrow. I just happen to have a fresh shipment from Glenn in here, and we'll be happy to send them to you.
Thank you, Glenn. We appreciate that.
Absolutely do.
So thanks, everybody, for the thumbs up, 78 tonight.
Pretty good number. Happy with that. We had a great group of people in here watching the show. We want to thank Noah Ishcomer again for being on the show. We feel it's extremely important that we have these youth on the show with us, and he was a great guest to have tonight. We appreciate him spending the time out. He could have been doing a lot of other things than visiting with us, but we was thrilled to have him on here. Don't forget, everybody, next Monday night, George Young Jr. and the one and only Bill Dance. I promise you, we are going to have a blast with Bill. We always do. And just to let everybody know, the 5th of August, Landon Higgins will be our youth guest. And Landon is an outstanding young man. I'm sure that you will enjoy that show. He's very knowledgeable, most helpful, polite young man you ever want to meet. So we're going to have a lot of fun with Landon.
John Patrick. Send me the info on that. West Virginia is not that far for me to go. It's a little bit farther for Lyle. So I'd be happy to come to an expo. I do a lot of seminars throughout the year, for like January, February, and March. So
if that's the one that James Arwood's putting on, we're scheduled to be there.
Oh, are we? Okay.
I am. We're supposed to do shows out over there. Joe, you're gonna have to send me when you just send me a message on Facebook with your correct name, because I don't know that they'll ship it to you like that. They might. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they send it back and you have to come up with a with a deal, but with a realistic name. But however you want to do it, but just message me that on Facebook because I'll have to watch down through here to go back and get it. I don't keep. Cindy takes all the notes, and your message is already gone. So just send me a message on Facebook. Thanks everybody for watching our show tonight. Bill Dance. Enough said, Doc.
Oh yeah.
Be a blast. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. We'll have a great time with Bill. Thanks, everybody. See you Monday night.